engineers or the permit people approving the permits comes to a railroad commissioner and says that this company wanted to use this type of technology, but it's not going to work, and we shouldn't approve this permit. I think another engineer would better understand what they're talking about than just saying, well, everything checks out, their math works out. You're one person telling me it's not going to work. So I think that, from my standpoint, I think for the Railroad Commission to be better efficient, you need people who work in the industry, who understand the industry, whether it's a oil and gas attorney who works on royalty issues, or to an engineer who actually goes out and does inspections, or an engineer that does anti-terrorism assessments. I think my knowledge of the industry is completely different than Ryan's. I look at worst case scenarios of what can happen if an attack was to happen, and given the fact that in the last 6 months, the amount of threats that Texas has been introduced with over our pipelines, you drive down to any county road in the state and you're guaranteed to either see a petroleum or natural gas pipeline sticking out of the ground. And it becomes more of a aspect of, I think engineers would be better suited to regulate the industry to make sure it's protected.
So then you would prefer that all 3 railroad commissioners be engineers?
Not necessarily. I think that, I think that somebody who's running to be a railroad commissioner should either have an oil and gas litigation background or some type of engineering background in the industry, to better understand the aspects of the industry, what the companies bring to the Railroad Commission when they say they need changes to some type of rules. They would better understand. I think Christy Craddock, with her litigation background, towards the rulemaking and towards sending opinions to legislators, she can write that stuff down in the legal way that they understand and that they know it needs to be in order for the legislation to pass. Compared to somebody like me, I look outside the box of what's going to hurt the industry as a whole if we do write that rule, because not every company uses the same methods to extract oil and gas out of the ground. Everybody's Christmas tree is different. The drills that they use are different. Some companies use drills that they can get down in 2 or 3 days. Some use drills that takes them a week. Some, there's a lot of stuff that can hurt the industry if it's not looked at properly, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay. We've got about 5 minutes. Why don't we go ahead and, if you want to do your closing.
Okay. In closing, this election is going to be about experience and looking for a candidate who has the most experience and knowledge of the industry, who has worked in the industry. I've worked in the industry for 18 years. I've worked with some of the biggest companies in the world doing anti-terrorism assessments. I think I'm the most qualified. I have industry endorsements. This is not only going to be about the political clubs and groups getting behind a candidate, because when you think about 37% of the economy in Texas, you need to think about who you want in charge of that, making the rules and regulations to make sure that that pro-growth outlook continues. You can find out more on my website, ronhalefortexas.com. I look forward to having your support March 1st.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Ron.